Hello everyone, it's Ego. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started, I'm going to say this right now. No, it's not a clickbait. This is a genuine discussion, and it's a discussion. It's unscripted, and I know a lot of people don't like that my stuff's unscripted, but you know what? I still am going to do it. If you want to write my scripts for me, by all means. It takes time, but I like to do things unscripted because it feels more genuine. So, anyways, let's get into it. So this video is going to talk about whether or not Wrath is beyond saving. Now, what I mean by this is quite simple. Wrath of Lich King now, in today's day and age, in 2022, is very different, obviously, than when it first came out, the original Wrath of Lich King. Let me build on this. The reason I'm saying, is it beyond saving? As in, is it beyond saving in regards to, is it ever going to be the same? And obviously, that's a very straightforward answer. No, it's not. There's a few key things that have changed, obviously, from the original Wrath of the Lich King to where we are now. And I think that the community that has grown from the current Wrath of the Lich King is drastically different for many reasons. But I think one of the biggest reasons is that the community has become so min-max and try hard that, and I've seen this on a couple other videos as well, actually. And one YouTuber, or a group of YouTubers, I should say, called the Comeback Kids, made a short talking about how the game doesn't feel fun anymore at times. And you know what? That made me prompt to make this video because I can agree. Sometimes it doesn't feel fun. And the reason I say this is because now everybody is so concerned with maximizing performance, with basically, like I said, min-maxing, that sometimes the game just loses that sense of nostalgia. It loses that sense of playability, and you're more focused on making sure you're performing to your maximum potential to please others rather than enjoying the game for yourself. I think that's the best way to put it. You're so concerned about, you know, getting the best spec, getting the best gear, performing the best, making your logs absolutely perfect. You're so concerned with all of this extra stuff, you're forgetting to take your time leveling your tunes. You're forgetting to take the time to actually learn and enjoy your class for yourself. Read out your talents, look at your abilities and understand what they do, and experiment with different specs. You know what I mean? Sure, one DPS spec may not be the most viable, but if it's fun, give it a try. You know what I mean? Like, go for it. And people are obsessed with gear score. People are obsessed with item level, which honestly, yes, it matters. But at the same time, I made a video about this, that gear score and item level aren't everything, especially when it comes to rating. It's not everything. And I know it could be going on a rant, and again, it's unscripted, but I'm speaking my mind, right? And I personally think that the game has gotten to a place where there's no coming back. That's why I say it's beyond saving. I could say that it's beyond the ability to step backwards into a time where maybe this is going to be more enjoyable, especially for newer players. Because you got to think, with the current way that things are, with the min-maxing, with everybody wanting everything to be absolutely perfect, top-notch, high gear score, high logs, everything. Some people make it that you can't even get into the raid without logs, right? For people who are coming into this game, who may be just trying it out for the first time, or maybe are not aware of these new requirements that people have set out, it could be quite daunting. And a lot of people won't get to experience this content for themselves because they're so judged on these factors that they don't understand why they're being judged on. Like, I know me, when I first came back, primarily in TBC, I wasn't aware of this logging stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really into it. I didn't understand it. I didn't get why people were so all about it. But as I learned more about it, I was like, okay, so like, it's something that people look at, obviously, to see if you're a good player, right? Like, can you do the top damage? Are you managing your cooldowns properly? Your rotation, all this other stuff. I understand why they're there. But at the same time, I think that it is a detriment to the game in a way, because it stops new players from actually getting to be able to experience this content, because everybody wants to look at your logs. Everybody wants to look at your gear score, your item level. Where if you're not like 4K gear score at this point, a lot of groups won't take you. And I know some people always say it's like, oh, no, like there's obviously still groups out there. Yes, of course there's still groups out there, but you know, like it is still a factor. And I may be just speaking by myself here. I mean, you know, let me know in the comments if you agree or not. But I think that the way that the game is with the community that it is now, it has changed drastically, and it is very hard for new players and even veteran players to be able to actually come into the game and have fun, because everybody is so busy min-maxing and pumping out this content as quick as possible, and they're not as quick as possible, and they're not enjoying it. So I think it's beyond saving for the fun aspect. Especially if we continue to do this min-maxing stuff, I think that it's going to be very tough to actually find new players that can come in and genuinely say that they aren't stressing that they're doing good enough to be able to do the content in the game. And I don't know about you guys. I'm speaking for myself here. I want to play this game to have fun. And if I am stressing about having all of this extra stuff and making sure that my logs are pristine and everything like that, and if they're not good enough, I'm not going to get into a raid or a guild that I want to get into, I think that the game just doesn't become fun anymore. Especially leveling up from, you know, 1 to 80 or 1 to 70 or 1 to 60. I find that I had less fun than I did when I originally came around, because I knew that the game changed. I knew that the community changed. I knew that the way people look at people when they're considering them to join a raid, it's no longer, how's your gear look? What's your experience? Link the achievement. Now it's, I want to see your gear. I want to see your enchants, your gems. I want to see your logs. I want to see 10 different achievements. I want to see if you're bringing consumes. I want to see if you're... Understandable that some of these things matter. Like, obviously, bring consumes. You got the gold, get consumes. Get the right enchants and gems. You should at least know your stat priority. You know, but when you're asking somebody to be a gold parser coming in for a Nax 10, unless you're doing specifically like an Undying achievement, then it's kind of like, okay, you're overkilling it a little bit. I genuinely fear that as we move closer and closer into like ICC and Ulduar, and the Ruby Sanctum, I fear for the new players, and I fear for players that aren't quote-unquote min-maxing and are just trying to enjoy the game, because it's a daunting thing that people will kind of push these players aside if they're not perfect. And sure, there's a difference between being bottom of the DPS meter and, you know, having obviously the wrong spec and everything. But just because you're not a gold parser, I don't want people to be thinking that they can't do this content. And that's what I'm scared of. Because obviously this game has been a big part of my childhood, of my adulthood. It's been a big part of, I'm sure, a lot of people's lives. And overall, when this expansion was coming out, when Classic was coming out, I just wanted to enjoy it. And I want people to enjoy it as well. It's something that, you know, raiding and stuff like that, it's fun. And it's, you know, even if it gets frustrating at times, it's fun because you're trying. You're interacting, you're trying to work through certain things in the raid to, you know, better yourselves. Like on Patchwork, you're having tanks swap out their gear, you're swapping out the main tanks, you're, you know, misdirecting, redirecting, whatever. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense anymore. I'm going on a rant, but I hope that the game has some people out there that are willing to bring the fun back into it and be more concerned about that than about min-maxing all the time. And I know that I'll always be one of those supporters that, you know, if somebody's having fun, I'm having fun, that's good with me. I'm not checking logs whenever I'm making raids. I'm making sure that you're just not bottom of the barrel gear, and that, you know, you can at least pull your weight. That's what I look for. But unless you're you know, doing it for guild reasons. I don't know. I'm very concerned. I want to know what you guys think, though. Let me know in the comments if I'm just speaking out of my bum here. I'd like to know, because I want to know if I'm the only one who's experienced any discrimination based on my logs, even if I can be top of the DPS, but my logs aren't the best because, you know, for whatever reason, I'm not parsing high. I want to know. Let me know down in the comments. But anyways, that's going to be my rant for today. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you agree on some of my points or disagree, let me know down in the comments. I do not shy away from some constructive discussion. I like it. So let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Be sure to like the video and hit the sub button down below. I will always appreciate that. And without further ado, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.